Hello, hello, hello. CT Luna here. Forgot my name. Welcome to the Audio Lab. Throughout the month of July, I'm running a little experiment. I know so many of you love to listen to your books, and since I'm getting ready to eventually record and publish the official audiobook for Brown Beyond Borders, Emerging into Golden Multidimensionality, I wanted to practice out loud with you first. So every single day this month, I'm pulling up a chair and reading a few pages of my memoir right here. So if you're on the free list, these daily drops will stay open for just a few days before they head into the archives of my paid, for my paid subscribers. And just to make sure, if you want to keep up, and if you ever miss a session or want to unlock the whole archive, you can upgrade to the paid subscription at any time. But today we're stepping into chapter 3. Chapter 3, Overcoming Limiting Beliefs. When it came to my career, societal expectations often cast a long shadow over me. I think this holds true for many brown women, including immigrants. There's an overwhelming pressure to conform, to endure, to sacrifice for some greater good. But what happens when those expectations clash with your inner voice, your dreams, your sanity? For me, that moment of reckoning came unexpectedly in the confines of Lenny Brown's Mercedes Benz. Of Lenny's Brown Mercedes Benz. The decision to quit my job after a mere 2 months felt like a betrayal of everything I had learned. It was a defiance of generational norms, and I feared I had caused a potential setback for future women of color seeking similar opportunities. The weight of these conflicting emotions was heavy. That afternoon, sitting next to Lenny in his brown Mercedes Benz in the Washington, D.C. traffic, I had made up my mind to quit. Quitting is not something that comes easily to someone of my background. Chalk it up to a combination of things: a generational thing, a gender thing, a race thing. I struggled internally with a lot of conflicting, fear based commentary from my inner critic. Quitting wasn't easy for someone of my background. My inner critic screamed, "Quitters never win." But what about the endurers, the persisters, the hangers on? Do they truly win by sacrificing their well being? Can we be satisfied with a Pyrrhic victory, a hollow shell of ourselves at the finish line? Growing up in the 1980s and 1990s, I heard, get a secure job, guaranteed employment till retirement. This generational wisdom felt outdated as the layoffs of companies like Enron and Kodak ravaged lives. Decades of loyalty meant nothing when secure jobs finished overnight without even a thank you for your service t shirt. Contradictory beliefs about women fueled my inner turmoil. On one hand, women were expected to power through, handle everything with grace, and take one for the team. My mother and grandmothers had sacrificed for their children's future, for my future, and now I was balking. Was I ungrateful? I also worried about the impact on Lenny's future hiring practices. Would he hesitate to hire another brown skinned woman because I'd been disloyal? It sounded ridiculous, but illogical conclusions are common in the workplace. I felt guilty for potentially harming someone else's chances, but I had already decided. So there we were, both in Lenny's brown Mercedes Benz, moving at the stop and go pace expected at that hour in the city. Lenny was pumped. He was rambling on about digital this and potential that, and I wasn't listening to a word he said. What do you think, Cynthia? Lenny turned over to me, his beaming face putting its full attention on me. I squeaked. Um, I think I'm going to hand him my 2 weeks' notice. Total fail on delivery. Glee disappeared from his boyish face. He was caught off guard, which he wasn't used to. He blinked twice and faced the road ahead. The traffic light turned green, so he advanced his car a few more feet before slowing to a crawl and a stop. But the cogwheels were grinding through his head. Lenny was a smart man, very strategic. He had worked with a prestigious lobbying group on K Street for about a decade. He turned back to me. Lenny looked like a boy again. But why? How would you have answered that question? Knowing how I felt the burden of defying the generational mores, the shame of turning my back on the sisterhood, and what she expected of me, and the guilt of possibly ruining for future melanated individuals a shot at landing a job, how would you have responded? There's no classy way to quit after a scant 2 months employment. I don't think I get along with management. Management? He repeated, trying to connect the dots. Do you mean me? Dots connected. I scrunched up my face and nodded. Yep. He was the owner and the manager. That summed it all up. But at the core, it was that I didn't get along with how he saw me and how, working there, I had begun second guessing my contribution, my value, and myself. Was I there only as a token? My decision was not just about quitting a job, it was about reclaiming my agency, honoring my needs, and refusing to sacrifice my well being and self confidence for the sake of external validation. It was a declaration that my dreams and aspirations mattered, even if they didn't align with the conventional path laid out for me. Staying in a job that was draining my sense of who I am was not an option. It was time to forge my path, even if it meant stepping outside the boundaries of societal norms and potentially facing criticism. The fear of failure, the guilt of quitting, and the uncertainty of the future were all present, but they were all overshadowed by the burning desire to be true to myself. Self compassion is the practice of treating ourselves with kindness and understanding, acknowledging our imperfections and vulnerabilities, and offering ourselves support and encouragement during difficult times. It's about recognizing that we are worthy of love and acceptance just as we are, without needing to earn it through achievements or external validation. Dr. Joy Harden Bradford, a clinical psychologist and author of Sisterhood Heals, The Transformative Power of Healing in Community, emphasizes the importance of self compassion for Black women. She argues that the unique challenges faced by Black women, including racism, sexism, and economic disparities, can take a significant toll on mental health. Through her work, Dr. Harden Bradford promotes self compassion as a key ingredient in healing and self care for Black women. Her podcast, Therapy for Black Girls, provides a safe space for Black women to explore their experiences, challenges, and emotions. Through her insightful conversations and therapeutic guidance, Dr. Harden Bradford encourages young Black women to embrace self compassion as a tool for navigating the complexities of their lives. The experiences described in earlier chapters further amplify the need for self compassion among people like me, US educated brown women immigrants. The pressure to excel, the burden of representing multiple communities, and the constant negotiation of identity can be emotionally draining. The decision to quit my job in Lenny's brown Mercedes was not just about leaving a job, it was about taking a leap. It was an act of self compassion, allowing me to forge my path and discover my inner magic. Cultivating self compassion is an ongoing practice. It requires us to be mindful of our thoughts and feelings, to challenge negative self talk, and to extend to ourselves the same compassion we would offer others. By embracing self compassion, we empower ourselves to navigate the complexities of life with greater resilience and joy, ultimately unlocking our inner magic and living our lives to the fullest. In the face of adversity and societal pressures, cultivating self compassion becomes a powerful tool for healing and growth. It is about acknowledging our struggles and imperfections without judgment and embracing ourselves with warmth and acceptance. With internalized oppression at the wheel, brown women often navigate a complex landscape of cultural expectations, systemic biases, and internalized oppression. As a response, self compassion can be a transformative experience. It allows us to challenge negative self beliefs, cultivate a positive self image, and build resilience in the face of adversity. Self compassion is about recognizing your inherent worth and treating yourself with the respect and care you deserve. It's not about self indulgence or self pity. Be patient with yourself and celebrate every step you take towards cultivating a more loving and accepting relationship with yourself. As you continue on your journey of self-discovery and empowerment and develop self-compassion, you will find that you are better equipped to navigate life's challenges, embrace your unique identity, and live a more fulfilling and authentic life. My mother, who had been sent to a Catholic boarding school in the Alps of Switzerland to treat her asthma, held little regard for the system. As a child, she moved to the beat of her drum, and as an adult, she was the only one in her nuclear family to leave the country for the New World and marry a Black man. She has never spoken at length about her experiences there, but the story of her disappearing act and her train ride home cropped up now and again. For a short while, the sisters of the Alpine School tried to mold her into a God-fearing, obedient woman, but my mother's precociousness prevailed. As a woman in her little town, the things she did in those days were, clutch my pearls, shocking. She went beyond the pale, physically and geographically, but her sense of belonging had been ingrained in her so early on that the thought that she would never be able to return home never crossed her mind. And that is where we're stopping for today. If you have a question about the book, the writing process, or anything we covered in today's segment, drop it in the comments of this post, and I might just answer yours on a future episode. I'm really glad I get to share this unedited process with you. Look out for the next pages in your inbox tomorrow morning. And if you know someone who would connect with this part of the journey, please share this post with them while it's still open to the public. And if you want to support this audio experiment and my writing as I start drafting book 2, consider becoming a paid subscriber to unlock everything. Thank you so much for listening, and I'll see you tomorrow.